Hey, good morning, everybody. It's Hammer. Today is Thursday, November 14th, 2024. I, of course, am with Originator Success here at the Daily Mortgage Rate Update, the only place on the web where you guys get to join me live each and every weekday morning, 9:30 a.m. Eastern Time. Good morning, Mr. Michael Love. How's my audio, by the way? I've got these really cool, expensive DJI wireless microphones that I rarely use, but I am in an airport lounge. Figured I would save you guys picking up every background noise and be able to talk a little lower. So, good morning, James Mahan, Deb Dickinson, Robert Bashirs, Yasmin Martin. If y'all don't mind, let me know how the sound is. Mike Morano, good morning. Michael Love says not bad. Let me know for everybody, like a consensus. Remember, you can join me live each and every weekday morning, 9:30 a.m. Eastern Time as we do the show. Today, coming to you from Atlanta, the lounge in the airport. Look at all the aeroplanes. We got the airzoplanes today. And so I am in the lounge in Atlanta. If you are watching on the replay, don't forget to give me a hashtag replay in the comments. Let me know that you are here. Let Facebook and YouTube know that you are here. Good morning, Benoit. Good morning, Mr. Ron Siegel. Ron Siegel says today is National Indian Guacamole Day. You know, there's a lot of Indian stuff going on with your things, man. Angela Walters, good morning, and thank you for the good sound. James said you can hear the background talking. Yeah, you're gonna. I mean, it's a whole room full of people. So, but as long as you guys can hear me well, does it matter if I hold it up like this or if I put it down? Up like this, put it down. Let me know. I'm curious on that. So, um, and appreciate that. So anyway, don't forget to smash the like button, tag an hello friend, share this post in a group, subscribe, all that stuff. Also, remember you can sign up for our free email lock advice, www.ratelockadvice.com. Sign up for our text alerts at www.ratetextalerts.com. Yasmin, are you out here in Georgia, dear? We'll have to meet sometime. I come through Atlanta all the time, and remember, if y'all want a text reminder that I'm going live, hmmr.io/reminder. Yeah, up. Okay. Yeah, there we go. Thank you, Mike. So I'll put it here. So up like this. There you go. And if you guys hear me better that way, I figure that's what we could play with a little bit. So nice. That's. I don't feel like holding it up like this, but I don't mind doing it either. I should get a little. Actually, you know what's funny? Watch this. Hold on. We're gonna get funny. We're gonna get funky here, y'all. We're having fun, right? We're here. Thank y'all. Be patient with me while everyone's getting live. I'll show you. Okay. Let's see. I'm gonna pop that out of the way. It's a little bit thick for look at that. We got our own little microphone stand. I'm setting it up. We got this thing dialed in like you wouldn't believe. So, all right, everybody. Well, good morning. Let's jump right in now and get into the good stuff. Let me switch screens and we will pop this in. Good morning, Randy. Great to see you here. Got the lock advice down in the bottom of the screen. I'm going to go ahead and share my entire screen with you. Actually, you know what? I'm going to try something new. I'm going to do Windows. Now I'm going to just share the entire screen. It's easier. Here we go. All right, so let's take a look this morning. A few things going on. First things first, mortgage-backed securities, as you can see here, up 6 basis points to start the day, and that's a good thing. I did not want that to move. There we go. So we're up 6 basis points, but 99.06 is really just about the same as when pricing came out yesterday, 99.08 at 10 a.m. yesterday. So if we hold to this, basically that means that pricing is going to be about the same as what you saw yesterday. As far as reprice risk goes, it is high. We've seen a lot of reprices the last few days and actually the last couple of weeks. And what we've seen when we take a look here at Mortgage News Daily, if you take a look at the mortgage rates, we capped out 7.13 right after the election. Remember, that was that like the worst day knee-jerk reaction type thing. And then they dropped back down. But we've really been sitting between these high sixes, low sevens for about a month now. You could see that in October, we had a very steady progression. This was the tail end of that, of rates getting worse. So from it started, of course, the beginning of October, but going back 30 days, we can see that rates have gotten worse. Progressively, we're not seeing that same behavior now, right? After we capped out right around 7.09, then we just, again, that one day of rates being a little off because of the election results, and then the next day they drop back. The Fed meeting, it brought us back down and kind of reset us, but we're staying in these high sixes, low sevens is where we have been on all of this, and that's where we're staying on everything. So, because of that, you'll notice the lock advice that I've got down there. Basically, I'll just look at the email here. It's been to go ahead and cautiously, or I've been saying to cautiously float, but we're really not picking anything up. And there's just more risk than we need. Hold on one second. I'm going to cough again. So anyway, this morning's wholesale inflation data came in basically as expected. Certainly keeps the door open for the Fed to cut rates in December. No real big change there. One thing that we are seeing, though, Fed officials fret over how far they can lower interest rates. Elevated uncertainty causing officials to urge caution on cuts. This is one of the reasons why we're simply not going to see rates move much lower from here. High sixes is about the best we're going to get, and that's why you want to pick your shot, to find your day, pick your shot, and lock in some of these rates. But we were hoping to see more of a recovery in November, and we're not seeing that. If we were going to see it, look at this trend after the Fed meeting, right? Let me just see if I can't. No, I didn't need all that on there. Okay. All right. So if you look here, right, where I've got the bouncing mouse, right after the Fed meeting. Come on, I don't want that thing to keep popping up. Okay. We're going to deal with it. So right down here, we can see that things were improving, and we were looking to get that November rebound after just getting crushed in October. Here was the middle of September when we hit our high point, and then just boom, beginning of October, lost ground. Looked like we were going to hold steady, lost more ground, and then this is ultimately. I'm going to draw a quick screen share of this. But ultimately, when we look at this, they've been right around 99 for this. This is the whatchamacallit coupon. This is the 5.5. We've been right around 99. All right, let me get this down. I'm going to go look at your comments in a minute, but you can see this line, right? This line here, we go up past the line, we've been down the line, we go up the line, we go down the line, we go up the line, we go back down the line. This is kind of that median. Is that like this is our base? We've been right around 99, and mortgage bonds have been there for about 2 weeks. We're seeing a lot of fluctuation. So you're seeing rate sheets that go up and down, go up and down. But ultimately, when we look at where we're at right now, we're basically the same as where we were at a couple weeks ago. This last stretch of worsening, we've kind of held there. Now, the problem is I don't trust this. I don't know how long this is going to hold for. When we take a look at the 10-year Treasury yield, we're seeing the 10-year that is, let me get rid of that. Okay. We see the 10-year 4.41 right now, and it's been up to 4.45. It'll probably go up over 4.5 again. It depends on what all the different drama and all the different talk of where things are at. There's really nothing coming up between now and the Fed meeting on December 18th to get excited about. We've got the labor market data, but even the last labor market data we got was on November 8th, and we actually lost ground that day, even though it came in with a huge miss. So let me go back to here and put me on the screen. All right. So anyway, let's see if you guys have any comments. By the way, I have a question of the day for you. We got about 35 people on here. I want to hear more from you guys. Let me get the caption of the question of the day. So since I am out, I am curious, how often do you fly? And what's your favorite airline? Do you have a favorite airline? My favorite is Delta. I pay more to fly Delta, but it generally works out for me. So I like them. I love being able to fly to Asheville and just grab a quick puddle jumper over here to Atlanta, hang out in the lounge, work for a while, and then I'll fly to Austin later today. I'm going to be speaking tomorrow or Saturday at the Consolidated Coaching with Scott Groves. Scott's a friend of mine, and I'll be speaking to his crew about being found on Google and reviews and just getting business in 2025, reputation, online branding, online reputation. There's so much business to be had doing that nowadays, guys. And you lose business if you're not doing it. Not just the business that you're not gaining, but you can actually lose other loans. So Derek said Delta, and as often as your wife lets you. That's funny. Good to see you, Derek. Haven't seen you in a while, man. How are things? Are you still with Nexa? I would think so. You've always been a big Nexa guy, but we all change. Tim Klyla, 2 times a year average with Delta. Yeah. Mike Tebow, Southwest. I didn't know Southwest thought of Detroit. Delta domestic, Virgin on international. Oh, Yasmin, international traveler. Clark, Delta unless it's international, then Korean or Qatari. I've never been, I have not flown international. More than I went to Paris once, so that's obviously international. But otherwise, I'm not going to call Bahamas or stuff like that international, right? So Puerto Rico is not international. So I generally, international, I took Air Canada when we went to Prince Edward Island the other day. Deb Dickinson, Alaska. I was on Alaska Airlines in California. I did a flight there. They weren't bad. Brandy Brickler, 5-6 times a year. So Derek, I see you, man, still with the Nexa family, which is very good, very good. So anyway, everybody, answer that question of the day. But as far as rates and pricing go, it definitely, I'm going to pop that back on there. It's, there's really not much incentive to want to be floating right now. Anything that we do, the current outlook is just not great. There's a lot of uncertainty over what's going to happen with Trump's policies. Uncertainty, arguably, you get a risk-off mentality, but with this kind of uncertainty, with Trump at the helm, steer full steam ahead. The averages, the indices continue to hit records. There's no reason to see bonds really improve. There's no fear, so there's no flight to safety. Even if the Fed cuts, I'll throw that article back on the screen. Let me switch back over here. Hold on. Looking at this, this is the big thing, right? Policymakers are still confident over their inflation path. Remember, the Fed started cutting 0.5 point in September. They cut 1/4 point for November. Expectations are that we're going to get a 1/4 point cut in December. That's actually starting to go up. You can see that's gotten stronger. If we do a quick comparison, just a week ago, it was only at about 66%. Now it's at 80%. So we have seen more of an expectation. But once you get into January, look at that change in January. A month ago, expectations were, hey, by the time we get to January, rates are going to be at 4. And now that much stronger expectation that rates will stay at 4.25. And we're currently at 4.5. So one more rate cut to 4.25 in December. And markets are kind of thinking, well, there's a pretty good chance that might be the last one for now. And unless we see something happen to really pivot and show weak economy, weak labor market, we're just not going to see rates want to go down. I mean, that's the bottom line. Now, the real world data, when you talk to people are living paycheck to paycheck. They're living on credit. We know that the economy is not truly doing as well as what it says it's doing, but the reports all showing that. So we either have to believe that all the reports have been highly manipulated, or you have to believe that people are just spending money they don't have on credit, and that we'll start to see that dial back, and that will slow things down. But until we do see signs of a slower economy, that's not going to happen. Now, that also brings me to another thing too. With Trump being president-elect, you have to wonder, in 2025, economy slows down, will we see a media and the masses blame Trump for the economy, right? So it's funny because Biden got blamed for the economy, and his administration did a lot to screw up the economy. Don't get me wrong. With what they did and reacting through COVID, but otherwise, you're handed something, and this is like a cruise liner, not a speedboat, and you're not going to turn a cruise liner at the drop of a dime like you would turn a speedboat. So, we're it doesn't matter who's at the helm. We are definitely going where we're going, and I think we're going where things will slow down, but I think it's going to take a while. But we've been thinking things are going to slow down for 2 years, and they haven't. So, that's why a couple of months ago when people said, hey, should we be refinancing people, or they should wait? You don't wait. look what happened to the people that waited. Now they could be waiting another 6 months or a year before they see that again. So, it really does keep things going. Good morning, Cindy. You're here. Better late than never. Said, why are they cutting Fed rates at the current market and no fear that things are at an all-time high? Because, Derek, they overshot the rate cuts. They did the rate hikes they did wanted to do. Remember something: the Fed raised rates to 5.25. That's not what we call a neutral Fed funds rate. The neutral rate is when you dial it in. It's like cooking at the oven, right? You can't throw a turkey in because you're an hour behind and crank the heat up extra high. You burn the outside, the inside is raw. You can't throw it in. You can actually throw it in and leave it on a low temperature for a much longer period of time, low and slow, you get a really good smoked. But the reality is that if you put it in and it's too low and you try to take it out early, it's still raw. So the point is, the Fed funds rate, the Fed raised that Fed fund rate. They cranked that oven way too high because they were trying to power cook that turkey. And what's happened now is they've got the outside nice and golden and roasted. They have to turn that temperature down. They bring that oven down to the right temperature to cook the inside of the turkey. And the Fed funds neutral rate is when you have that economy that is not growing too fast with inflation at 5 and 6 and 7%, but it's also not losing ground. We don't want a recession, right? The Fed's mandate: maximize employment and stable pricing, which is at or right around 2% PCE inflation. And I say PCE, the personal consumption expenditures. Remember the CPI, the one we got yesterday. That one, very, very shelter heavy. Shelter is a slow moving, lagging indicator. So that's why there's not a lot of fear on that. When you take the shelter out and they do take a look at everything else, inflation's right where the Fed wants it. Now they're trying to bring that rate back down. They overshot it. Now they bring it down, and they want it in the right spot, that if they have to, they have to heat up the economy, stimulate the economy, they could drop that Fed funds rate. So that's where they're trying to get. Mahan, stop it. You're making me hungry. Yeah, I got Thanksgiving on my mind, my man. So anyway, Ron Siegel said we need to get back to neutral rate. The Fed has actions that take 12 to 18 months to get through the system. Yeah. So they're doing now, we're going to feel later. And also, let's say that we do go into a recession. They need to keep the rate high enough that they can drop it again and stimulate the economy. So that's why when we talk about more normally when the Fed lowers rates, it's inflationary. That would be bad for rates, but it's not, because most of the time when the Fed's lowering rate, economy is weak, or they're trying to get back to that middle ground and that neutral level. So that's why I don't buy into when everybody says the Fed cuts rates and it's inflationary and therefore it's bad for mortgage rates. It's actually not the case. So anyway, my friends, I will be tomorrow. I think, I don't know what the agenda is. And I'm also, I think 2 hours or is Austin, Texas Central time? Maybe I'm only an hour. I think Austin is only Central. So if I'm only an hour, that means it'll be 8:30. I should be able to be live. Mike said it's kind of funny you brought up turkey. Went to the store a few years back around. One on Thanksgiving Day, asked a clerk if I bought a frozen turkey, if it could be ready by 5. Yeah, except for they stare at you and they don't know what you're talking about. But that's a different story. So yeah, thank you, Bobby. Austin is Central, so it'll be an hour earlier for me. I should be on tomorrow, but there's not going to be much that's really going to be different, y'all. This is where we're at. What a pivot, though. Is anyone else? Raise your hand. Give me a hell yeah, an amen, or a this sucks in the comment. In September, early September, it just looked like smooth sailing for the end of the year, that rates are going to stay in the low 6s, maybe hit into those high 5s, and we were going to keep moving. We were going to be rolling. Look at how much pent up consumer demand there is. When we had that little hit in rates, where a ton of refis, there was more purchase activity. So even though it sucks that rates have gone up, this, at least we're staying stable. Consumers are used to this now. You just gotta get out there and prospect your butt off, right? Rob said, go eat at Stubbs. Downtown ATX. What's ATX? Is that Austin? I thought Austin was AUS. I don't. Oh, ATX maybe Austin, Texas. So, but yeah, I mean, guys, it's the reality is don't let these rates mess you up. It's all about prospecting right now. Get those things lined up. We're gonna have there's debt consolidation to do. So, but you got to get out there and fight for every loan. There's not as many loans as we used to have. We know that, but there are still loans. So, get out there and go get them. I'll see you guys tomorrow. Have a fantastic one, and we'll talk more. All right, take care, everybody. Bye bye.